coverage of the 43rd Runoffs. Last year in F production, a 3-wide start, and exactly the result you might expect back in the pack. Luis Riviera's Miata and Mark Stone's Miata having a little bit of a get-together. On the second lap, the Porsche of Mark Hotchkiss got underneath John Cerrino and Craig Kima, and he pulled off a pass to the lead. Mike Cifello's Miata took a major off-track excursion. Watch this, he saves it, but comes across the track in front of traffic, then stuffs it into the tires. On lap 6, the Honda CRX of Paul Schiff pulled off a ballet move in the keyhole, and look at that, talk about sticking and landing. The entire production truck gave him 9/8 across the board. He was a little vexed. A not too subtle move here by Mason Workman's Miata to get by the Austin Healey Sprite of Harold Fleischer. But in the end, it was a very emotional victory for Mark Hotchkiss, driving the late Robert Kirby's Porsche, and he grabbed that gold in honor of his fallen colleague. His words say it all.
All right.
As F production has evolved over the years, it's become a lot about variety, but it's always about great racing. This gentleman, John Cerrino, won the GT3 Gold last year, but in this class, an early moment dropped him to 45th. He came back for a bronze medal and a podium finish. One of the cars that races in this class is a Sprite, but not this one. He used to drive a Sprite, but Peter Morton decided to try a Lotus 7 this year. They've had a season full of teething problems, but this very well may be a Lotus 7 type of track. But they'll have to deal with a gentleman who's the perennial favorite whenever he takes to the track, 4-time gold medalist Steve Sargis in his Triumph Spitfire. What kind of season has he had? Well, he won the Central Division. Driving a beautiful Mazda Miata is Jesse Prather. This is a gentleman who took the Midwest Division Championship, and he's had a lot of time on this track. Home field advantage, we're going to find out. And he just bought this car to go for the Runoffs in June. What a season. But if you want to fill out the variety angle, how about this beautiful Lancia Scorpion in the hands of the very talented David Strittmatter, Northeastern Division champion, and he is a gentleman that has been hustling this car beautifully all week long. Let's see what he can do when it gets to race time. The Sports Car Club of America is made up of 112 regions that contest racing in 8 divisions all season long. The goal, make it to one event, the National Championship Runoffs. This year, for the first time, in Heartland Park, Topeka, in Topeka, Kansas. Today, the battle is in F production. Hi, everybody, and welcome to this beautiful facility, an absolutely glorious day for competition here in the heartland of the Midwest. Great to have you with us. I'm Greg Creamer. I am joined in the booth, as always, by Dan Banks, and we are looking forward to having John Bizignano and Mike Johnson covering all the action down in pit lane for us. And we have talked about this track. It's gone through a lot of revisions, but one thing, Dan, this track remains a challenge.
Yes, it does. The turn 1, turn 2 complexes, we've seen a lot of action right in here. 3, 4 wide off on the dirt. Same thing into 6. Some optimistic passes we'll see there. It's hard to make them stick. You need to stay on line through turn 8 and out through the S's here and onto the front straightaway.
All right, and we're talking, of course, about the production category. This race is F production, Dan.
Yeah, they must be original design. You can do a lot of stuff to the suspension. The layout must remain the same. Front engine cars, rear drive, or if they're front drive, they need to stay the same.
And you can see the class displacement, weight, tire size. This is F production. And for more on the class and some competitors, let's get down to Biz.
Well, fellas, Harold Fleischer, he is a gentleman that actually proves the fact that there are not only classical cars in F production, there are many classical drivers. He built this car up in 1977. It's been to the championships 6 times. He's had 1 championship out of the car and 5 second places. He was on pole position in the year 2000, and today he's starting from the 5th qualifying position. They had a rough qualifying weekend. They blew a motor, lost a lot of track time. He feels that he has at least 7/10 of time out on the track and really hopes to move up maybe into a strong podium finish. Just right next door, let's see what Mike Johnson has with more of these beautiful F production cars.
Well, speaking of blown motors, Luis Riviera had the exact same problem. He blew up his primary motor in testing, and now he's on his backup motor. He was hoping he wasn't going to have to put that in the car. Now, and regularly, he's actually a Mazda technician, so he knows this car and this class very well. But as an amateur, he's not only a road racer, he's an amateur team roper, meaning he does those roping competitions in his hometown of Phoenix, Arizona. He's actually anxious to get out of this car right now because his son Tony just finished another race, and he's curious to know how he did.
Well, that means he's a little bit fearless, too, if you're doing that kind of thing. But, guys, between those two drivers, they ran 9 races this year, 8 of them were wins. So a lot of talent behind the wheel of those two cars, even more talent behind the rest. And when we come back, we'll bring you that starting lineup for F Production. Welcome back, everybody. Our F Production field is out on their pace lap. Let's get you to the starting lineup, and it is a good one. We've got some national champions, and every one of those 8 divisions that I had talked about at the top, every one of those champions is in this field. And let's go right to the very front of the field. Again, a gentleman who was the gold medalist in this class in 2004, put together a great lap in qualifying and took that pole position. The number 57 of John Cerrino, almost the second clear of everybody else, but again, everybody else was dealing with weather issues and trying to sort through rain and the like. You can see Jesse Prather, Sargis, Prill, Fleischer, all of these guys incredibly talented and a lot of success. Riviera, Mason, Workman, these guys are always front runners as well. So the front of this field is absolutely packed, but there's Mark Stone, Jamie Bloss, David Strittmatter. They are all divisional champions. Again, gives you an idea of just how deep this field is.
It is really deep, and a lot of guys are just getting used to this track. They've been going to Mid-Ohio for so many years. Now they come here, and some of guys have struggled, and other guys have hit it right off the bat.
And we go look at the last group here. The last 2 cars, unfortunately, not able to take the green, so we're going to see that. But look at Bob Stream. He's a member of that group that are heroes to me, the corner workers and the volunteers here. It's his first runoffs. He said, there's no way I'm going to win this thing, but I am having the time of my life in my first runoffs and doing a great job. Let's get down to the pits and Mike Johnson. Mike?
Well, one of the stories here in F Production is going to be the older cars versus some of the newer cars. Now, I personally would rather have a newer car in a race like this because I like a little bit better reliability, like you're going to see in some of those Mazda Miatas. And what the SCCA does is they're going to adjust the weight in some of the tire sizes to make those cars maybe a little bit more difficult to drive. Now, my partner over here, John Visignano, he's probably a bigger fan of the vintage cars.
Well, the vintage cars a little bit have some great memories for me, that's for sure. And if you're running an F Production type car, one of the older ones, you have a whole nother world to run in, and that's in historic racing, classic car racing. There are some beautiful venues at Laguna Seca, Sonoma, Watkins Glen, and smaller tracks all over the country. And these cars run hard. Yes, they run very hard here for the championship, but there they are out there in historic racing, just running wheel to wheel, all types of older classical cars. It's great fun.
It's absolutely beautiful. The fields are indeed, and you saw that. There's the Steve Sargis' Spitfire, the Lotus Super 7, Fleischer's Austin Healey Sprite on through the field. Some great cars. And then the fact that SCCA is able to figure out a rules package that allows some of the newer machinery to run and still have those older cars be competitive really is I think, just a superb job they've done.
Right, trying to get 30 cars to be all running the same lap, it's pretty difficult. As you can see, the first 10 cars are really close. One thing about running these cars in vintage, if you bump into anybody, you're getting some time off. And these things, they bump and grind and keep going.
Now you bet there's going to be some nice old bodywork and parts chewed up in this one. A classic case of that balancing act, your pole sitter, an MG Midget, vintage eligible. Next to him, a Mazda Miata, fairly new car. So they've done it well, and they are about to get it done on the track. Look for the green flag to fly. Tom Huxtable looks him over. The green flies. We are underway. F Production action. Cerrino, that white MG on the inside. The red Miata on the outside as they head up into that first turn. And it looks like Cerrino got a little bit of a jump. And going right with him is Steve Sargis, that all-red Triumph, trying to duck down, and Fleischer trying to make it 3 wide. Not going to happen. And Sargis, a wise man, settled it out and decided to wait. But it looked like Eric Prill got a great move in that Lotus 7 down to the inside as the field streams down through 1 and 2. And Prill sits there in 4th, and the field pretty much settled out. Cerrino, the white car, leads it. Then the Miata and the Triumph of Sargis, the 2 red cars, 2nd and 3rd, then Prill's Lotus.
Man, can you believe how they're spread out everywhere? 3, 4, 5 wide. It's unbelievable racing all the way through the field.
Just look at the size of that field and these cars going at it. There is that yellow Lancia. Boy, I'll tell you what, just some great cars running here. Cerrino leads it. And like I said, he had that great qualifying lap. But in the practice sessions and the rain and the like, obviously now race time, things are going to set up. There is Eric Prill in a beautiful Lotus. And you see in the back, 1-800-FIGHT-MS. His dad has MS, used to run this car. And now Eric is running the car. Dad enjoying watching Eric run it. This is his first race since he had back surgery. He won the June National here in front of Cerrino and Sargis, ran them down and passed them, and then had some back surgery and hasn't been able to race since. So he is back, did a great job qualifying in fourth, and is running in that position right now.
Looks like that car is really handling good. He's able to hold his own. This battle.
Oh, Cerrino runs wide into the bus stop. It's going to kill his momentum. Here comes Prather. Nope, not able to get it done there either.
Yeah, the problem is if you get offline there in the bus stop, and you're in big trouble.
Just kills your momentum, and even in these cars, which are a little bit big, obviously, that is still going to be a serious roll. And I'll tell you what, Jesse Prather doing a great job. He's the legend, Kent Prather's son, and has obviously picked up some of Dad's chops behind the wheel. He's a good driver. But for Jesse, looking in his mirrors, he's got to be worried because he sees Steve Sargis, and now he sees Eric Prill move over. Prill thinking about going by Sargis, not going to do it at this point. Little bit needed to be a little bit closer. Now Sargis shows the nose to Prather as they head down into one.
It's amazing how close those cars are.
Watch what happens right here. Cerrino coming in, and this was not the bus stop, it's my bad. This is the exit of turn 10. And boy, he sure carried a lot of speed right there. The only thing that helped him is the next corner is that hard right.
Yeah, and he just took the line away and was able to keep his speed up.
Now Sargis starting to bother Prather a little bit. Cerrino will like to see that. And this is just some great racing right now. Out of 5, and here's that turn 6, one of the slowest turns on the track.
You can see him looking for Sargis, sticking his nose in there. I think the Miata is a little bit heavier, doesn't carry the speed like the Spitfire does.
And that MG up front of Cerrino looking very good right now. As a matter of fact, Mr. Cerrino's had a busy day a little while ago in one of the races earlier in the day, took a silver medal in GT3, so he also has the knowledge of what condition this track is in today, while the others only had the morning warm-up.
Yeah, and the track's getting better and better. The sun's out. It's warmed up today to about 60. In his earlier race, it was like 38.
Now, there has been other racing, though. We have seen a lot of dirt and debris brought up on the track. Whoa!
I think the engine just let go.
Cerrino is gone. He's pulled off, and I think you're right, a big plume of smoke, and he is pulled off track. Oh, look at that. There's the frustration. He knew it. It's gone.
Yeah, a big piece flew out, and you could see him just drive off the road. That's really heads-up driving. He knew he had a big engine problem. He pulled off the road and didn't oil the track down.
That is a class act. A gentleman who had the qualifying lap almost a second quicker than anybody else. There's the crew, and they're obviously hoping John is going to explain to them just what happened, but a class act. He had a shot at winning this thing easily. It flew up, pulled right off the track. Take a look at it here, Danny.
Yeah, you can see him coming up the straightaway, and you can see him, he just bang, and it pulls off. And he knew maybe 50, 75 feet before that. You can see something fly out the side here, and his day is done.
It's obviously great frustration for the guy who, based on times, had the field covered. Reality in this class often, that's not the case, but what that has done has left us with a 3-car scrap for the lead, and those 3 have opened it up a little bit. Jesse Prather, again, this is his home track. He and his dad and the family live just about 10 miles from here, so he knows this racetrack. Steve Sargis is just a legend in production car racing, has been doing it so well for a long time. And Eric Prill, aside from being a very talented driver, he's the media director and vice president of communications for SCCA, so he's loving running in medal position right now.
Tommy Little has actually been racing here in Kansas since 1989 when he attended the first IMSA race, which was a pro event, but you've been here with many different cars.
Yes, this will be the 5th car I've had in the intervening 17 years, and this is the oldest of the bunch, is a 74 Mercury Capri.
You've seen a lot of changes. What about the competition?
Oh, the competition has really gotten ferocious. I can't believe how difficult it is, and it showed up where I'm gridded, which is back near the back.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that has remained the same over the last 17 years is his Chevy van. This is a 1971 van that originally belonged to Carl Haas. Believe it or not, he towed his Can-Am car with this van on an open trailer.
Yeah, Tommy actually did a little run, and he ran the first pro race here in 1989, the IMSA Performance Sedan Series. Hauled his car with that very same van, and he's right in the middle of this scrum, back in the order a little bit, and having a solid weekend, a solid event. As he said, he didn't qualify all that well, but he's moved up. He has gotten around a few cars out there at this stage, and it really doesn't matter. You're out there just having fun and racing. And a problem for that Lotus, he obviously had something let go, and he is moving off the track. There's a look at the number 25 of Mark Webber, the guy they call Einstein. He's got the great hairdo to go with that name. but he also just drives these cars in a multitude of classes. Go back up front, Jesse Prather continues to lead with Sargis, and Prill is absolutely all over the back of him at this stage.
Yeah, Sargis is the master of this deal. He just waiting for Prather to either make a mistake or just seeing for any opening. There's going to be traffic here shortly, and we'll see what happens.
Now, not to jinx the poor guy, but if Prather does end up winning, all indications are in Jeep production that his dad could win it. Boy, what a weekend that would be, the family getting a double gold. Mike?
Yeah, I was just going to add on Eric Prill. He's using the gloves of Jim Liedhauser, who was the showroom stock B champion in '04. He figured lucky gloves, lucky Hans device, and a lucky camera in that car, which is helping him in that third right now.
I can't. Are racers superstitious, Danny?
A lot of them are superstitious. Johnny O'Connell's probably the most superstitious. He, wears the same shirt, same gloves, all kinds of crazy stuff. I'm not very superstitious. I think you get what you take.
Exactly. Meanwhile, there is Jesse Prather, and he is feeling the heat from Sargis. Oh, Prill locking up that right and floated a little wide. He got in there a little bit too hot. I think he saved it, but it cost him a lot of space right away, about 5 car lengths.
Yeah, there's a yellow flag there. I don't know what's coming up here, but Prather actually gapped him a little bit.
Well, that's where that Lotus I mentioned that previous lap had a problem, and maybe put a little something down on the track. There's Jesse leading, and there is Mrs. Prather, who is watching very intently as Jesse goes by, and the intensity's going up. Here comes Sargis looking to the inside and makes the move, dives down into the inside as Prather swung out. Now the question is, can he hold it? Jesse very calmly just plants that Miata around the outside, gives him the inside in turn 2. Thank you very much. Not this time, Steve.
Yeah, you can tell Steve's car is really fast, but offline there it's hard to make it stick.
I'll tell you what, Steve Sargis is one of the masters of his class, and he is hounding Jesse right now. Biz?
Well, Jamie looked just as cool as Jesse out there on the track, but he's got a lot of pressure on it. Does he thrive on that, or does it bother him?
Well, he was pretty nervous today, but awful excited. We've never been this far up front, and such an honor to be up there with those guys.
And you've had a smooth weekend, actually, coming up into the race.
We have. He's done great in qualifying, and car's running great, and we're all really excited.
Well, she's very excited here on the wall. Big smiles every lap so far.
Absolutely, but that little bit of cut and thrust that Jesse and Steve put on has allowed Eric Prill to make up that 5-length deficit from his lockup, and he has rejoined this group and is now starting to hound Sargis. Sargis, though, he thought about it coming into the bus stop, but not this time. But boy, Steve Sargis is on it. And what I was going to say about Steve, there is no smoother driver in production racing. The guy does not throw the car around. He's Prost-like in his ability to just carry speed without throwing that car around, and that means he's easy on brakes, easy on tires, which means he's always got a great car at the end of the race.
Well, with these cars, you can't just throw them around. There's not enough power to catch back up. The Miata will just leave you. So he just needs to be smooth as glass, make the straightaways as long as possible, and he's doing a good job at that.
Yep, as you see, the 02 F production champion, but he's got 3 G production championships to his credit as well, and is very good. He's chasing a guy who's looking for his first, and he's got a guy behind him who's hungry for his first as well. And this is a great 3-way battle. Now, this is where Sargis made the move the lap before. See if he pops to the inside. We'll catch you up on that when we come back to the action here at Heartland Park, Topeka. It's the 43rd running of SCCA's National Championship Runoffs here at Heartland Park, Topeka. The first time that this storied event has run at this wonderful facility. We've had great racing throughout this Runoffs event, and F Production living up to that exactly as one might have suspected. And as you can see, Steve Sargis has taken the lead away, one would have to imagine, going down into turn 1. And he has made it stick this time. Prather back into second, and Eric Prill sitting in third. So big change up front right now. Sargis, it was almost inevitable, Dan.
Yes, it was. His car was really quick, good on the brakes, and now he's getting into the tight bits, is pulling away just a little bit. A couple of clean laps for him here, and I think he'll be all out by himself.
And let's go back and take a look at how it happened. Watch for it right here, and it's coming in, it looks like, into the carousel.
He just took the line away. Wow, that was close. Just took the line away. That was clean racing, and away he goes.
Well, Jesse opened the door up, and Steve got it up, and it was clearly alongside, so a nice job there. Now, I think for Eric Prill, the concern is if he can't get by Prather fairly quickly, Sargis might start driving away a little bit.
He will. It looks like the Lotus is good through the S's there, out on the back straightaway. Just doesn't have the power that it needs to get by the Mazda.
Now, if he's got to stay close, get a little draft going, find a spot where he can just make a nice brazen move a la Sargis and see if he can make it stick. There's the number 31. That is Blust. And again, one of those champs, that's Bill Blust, who ended up winning the Rocky Mountain Division. And he's having a good battle in 7th spot. This is the 41 of Andy Howe, who's doing a nice job 5th in the Midwest Division. And oh, he ran wide, Blust did, and tore up the front splitter on that car trying to get by Howe. And that thing is now tucked up underneath. That's not going to help, but he's not backing off, Dan.
No, he's going as fast as he can. I don't think that's going to hurt him. It might, whoa, he got under the tire maybe. That could cause some grief.
That's the
back
issue.
Inside.
It's a beautiful MGB, and he got him, it looked like.
It looked like 2.5, 3 wide there.
There's still, well, look at that, 3 wide, 2 of them off in the dirt. That blue and white car is Mason Workman, another very, very quick driver. Qualified a little further back than we're used to seeing Mason. And look right down to the inside of Mason comes Strittmatter and that Lancia. That's a Lancia Scorpion, and he makes the pass as Mason Workman got well wide of the track here. Now we're going to go back and take a look at how that unfolded.
Yeah, he locked up the right front. Then he's back inside of him. Takes the line away. Oh, they actually touched there. He got really wide. And away he goes.
Yeah, so
Lost
Andy
3 or
Houck,
4 spots.
Yeah, Andy Houck dropped way back as a result of that. Meanwhile, there you see, boy, Strittmatter, once he got around Mason Workman, he's really starting to move it up. And he's coming after Blust, I think, will be the next guy that he's going to catch here. Meanwhile, here's this battle. Workman now back and dealing with the 27 of Jamie Blust, also out of the Rocky Mountain Division. Absolutely, they are related. And Jamie sneaking by as well.
Yeah, that was a nice pass. He just got a good shot off the 6 and made it up to the bus stop faster than the other guy.
Good work here, boy. Let's go back up front. Oh, boy, this is still as tight as can be. Prather this time has the run. Let's see if he can return the favor. Sargis up through Alpha. Prather looks to the inside. Lights up the brakes. Goes in deep. Sargis, ooh, squares up underneath. Looks like Prather ran a little wide. Now, Sargis going to cut back and look at Prill trying to come underneath them. Nope. Knew he couldn't make it work there. So we have a new leader as Prather is now in point. Boy, Prill thought about it, didn't he?
Yes, he did. These guys are battling really, really hard.
This is awesome racing here. 34 Prather, the Miata, the Triumph Spitfire of 18 Sargis, and the Lotus 7 of number 7 Eric Prill right now. 1, 2, 3 in F production and putting on a great show. And you can see Prather turns in a bit earlier for turn 5 than does either Sargis or Prill. And look who's coming up to join this battle. Harold Fleischer, that Austin Healey Sprite, is on the move. We'll be right back. F production is really a war here in Heartland Park. Here's what's unfolded so far. Of note to start. And John Cerrino from pole. He had a second on the field in qualifying. Looked like he might just check out on everybody. And problems. Had a moment. Ran a little wide, gathered it up, but then later you see the plume of smoke. Something let go in the engine, and being the gentleman he is, he pulled off track, got out of everybody's way, didn't oil it up. Watch this move here as that beautiful Triumph Spitfire of Steve Sargis underneath the Mazda of Jesse Prather took the lead away, but a few laps later, Prather said, I'm not done just yet, ducked underneath. Sargis made it stick in that very tight 1-2 complex, and Prather now is back in the lead. Another look at this pass. And Prather just stove it down in there and made it work. Eric Prill in that beautiful blue and yellow car. And then some bit of battling that kind of got out of control. The 89, David Bryson, having at it with Strittmatter, and of course the 31. Once again, a Bill Blust with that damaged front end has been in the mix of things here. And he did it himself, didn't hit anybody, but obviously that's affected how that car is working.
And now we've lost Prill. He's back a little bit.
Oh, Prill has dropped back. Don't know what happened there. Maybe he may have had a moment, run a little wide somewhere, and that puts Fleischer now up into the 3rd spot. There is Fleischer, yep, and Prill is now back in 4th. So you have to imagine that Eric just ran a little wide somewhere, had a little bit of a moment.
Yeah, he must have ran wide maybe in turn 1. We'll see what happens there. It's going to be tough for him to get back to the leaders. He was doing all he could just to stay closing 2 or 3 seconds here is going to hurt him.
Now, when he ran the June National here, the similar thing happened. It wasn't his fault. He had a moment, got involved, dropped back, and ran down Sargis and Cerrino, passed him and won the race. Now, they found out later that they were not on the best tire compounds and were just using some older tires at the time, so we'll see. Now, this is Workman right behind him now. Let's see, this is the battle for 9th. I think Strittmatter has gone by, so it's Workman and Stone, and look at that move. Andy Howe, he just came up and went by Stone and Workman. That was a pass from 11th to 9th for Andy Howe. That was brazen, brave, and effective.
Yeah, that was. The Honda's actually caught up there. Funk, we haven't seen him yet today.
No, we haven't had him in there, but Larry Funk is starting to come on. As you said, that CRX had a number of podium finishes so far this season. There's Mason Workman in that Miata, and Mason is always a factor in these races. Currently now running in 10th. Problem like there.
Yep.
I think that's the 89 of Bryson, and he just pointed Mason by, so I don't know, maybe he missed a shift and knew that he didn't have the drive there and let him go. Or is that the 33 actually? I believe that's the 33 of Mark Stone. Yep, it was.
It looks like he's back up to speed here. Like you said, he might have missed a shift, and he was just nice enough to say, hey, I'll get back in the group here where I fit.
Well, no use holding up the guys if you had a little bit of a... Ooh, boy, 22. Funk almost getting into the back of the 33 there. Stone did a nice job to avoid him. So that white Mazda is Workman. Behind him, the blue Mazda is Stone. And then right behind them, that CRX, the white car, is Funk. But obviously, he's got a whole queue there. The 06 is Stefik, and then the 66 is Hayward in this mix.
Yeah, it looks like the 06 is putting the pressure on there. Stefanik there. Yeah, he's inside. He got on the curb there and slowed him up a little bit.
I think Stefik knew that if he stayed there was going to be some contact, so he opted to not make that one an issue, if you will, and live to fight another day.
Yeah, you see, if you make a mistake, you're going to lose 4 or 5 spots here.
Working through the carousel, and this is that great mix of machinery we were talking about. A tin top CRX, a couple of modern Miatas, then you've got MGs in this battle as well. I mean, it's just fabulous racing right now. And I'll tell you what, so far the move of the race was that one by Howe going from 11th to 9th in one move and into that part of the track that you don't see a lot of passes made cleanly. And boy, he laid one down.
Yeah, turn 6, there hasn't been hardly any good passes. All of them are really brave moves and take the line away.
And he did it to great effect. We'll be right back to Heartland Park. We are just past halfway in the runoff to an F Production National Championship here at Heartland Park, Topeka. And that battle at the front continues to be very strong indeed. And we've had a lead change. Prather had it, Sargis had it, now Prather is back. But Sargis is there, Dan. I mean, he is hooked up. And the fastest lap was the guy in third. Flasher has just turned a 1:53.7.
Yeah, he's not satisfied with the third place finish there. He's trying to get up there and try to maybe get a silver or even a gold. We'll see what happens.
He's just about a second back, and I think if he can catch these guys, he'll be able to run with them, no question at this stage. The problem is he just needs a little help. Here he comes, and Harold is the guy who was the Southeastern Division champion this year, just doing a superb job, the gold medalist in '95, the pole in 2000. This guy is just an incredible driver, and you take a look at his stats for this year, just in the divisional run, he had a perfect season, 6 starts, 6 wins. So this guy knows how to win. Oh boy, look at this, they're going 4 abreast, or trying to here as they come down. That's Workman. He got back around Howe. So Howe had a bit of a moment there. Then the blue number 33 is in that mix of Stone.
Yeah, Stone, man, he looks like he's able to carry a lot more speed than Stefik.
Yeah, you got Stefik, then you got that beautiful MG, the blue one of, I think that is Hayward, 66. And of course the 22, that Honda, the white car, they're a Funk. And these guys they've been in the same grouping. They just exchanged positions a few times. This is great racing.
Yeah, just nose to tail, 7 cars. This guy gets a little better run off, gets by 1. Then the next corner he loses 2 spots.
And Weber Manning, I believe, you bet. That's Weber in that silver and black Mazda that has come up behind this group and joined it as well. There is Steflik. And boy, what a race he's been having. He's been in the mix here. He's currently shown as running in 12th, but on any given lap, that could be 10th, it could be 14th, the way these guys are battling.
Yeah, like I said, it's nothing to lose 2 or 3 spots. He gets a good run here. We'll see. Looks like he might be able to get in there.
Yeah, he got a huge run on the blue 33 of Stone. He's down the inside and made the pass. And you can see those guys, both running Miatas, would have elected to go different ways. Steflik has opted to go with the hardtop, and certainly Stone running as the convertible. And that certainly, I would think, has somewhat slightly different aerodynamic properties.
Yeah, I think the convertible is probably the best way to go. The air going over the top. Same power, you would think it would go faster with the top off of it.
Well, now here comes 41 Howe. Got a great drive, and he's trying to do what will be an outside move on Workman unless he gets it done early here. Well, and he does. He gets he's ahead before that little bit of a left-hand bend, which should set him up nicely down into 1 and 2.
Yeah, that car looks really good. He squared up that corner, coming onto the straightaway, and it pays off, 20, 30 feet ahead at the end.
A great camera angle as they just go shooting between turns 1 and 2. A blanket covers these guys right now. Howe, Workman, Steflik, and Stone. And they've actually opened it up just a little bit now over that CRX of Funk. And you saw Hayward going back around Manning. Manning had passed Hayward behind this group, and he went back for it, and he got him again. But boy, these guys just continuing to put together some great racing. Look at this move here. Steflik, that's awfully tough to make it work. Oh, Howe goes off. Workman spins, so Steflik comes through. Howe, a brilliant recovery.
Yeah, looks
but
like
Steflik shuts the door. And I think, Stone, got a little bit better drive out of 6 here. Does he get to the inside? Yeah, he does. This is going to be a drag race, I think, all the way there.
Yeah, you can see him. He starts losing in the head, and then I think the other guy just panics and said, hey, this guy's going to come back in front of me. Lifted and spun out. I think
Mason just had the classic TTO, as they call it, trailing throttle oversteer. Lift mid-corner, the back end just comes around on you.
Yeah, and you just run out of track.
So he had to gather it up, but I thought, Howe, what a recovery there to only lose essentially 1 spot as he was able to fight back around the outside of that blue Miata of Stone. So 41 Howe right there. And there's the 22 of Funk, and then right behind him is that 37 of Manning. Meanwhile, up front, Prather continues to hold on by an entire car length over Steve Sargis. These guys having a great run, and Flesher has not been able to run them down yet.
They call this the SCCA Marketing Challenge, when you have a photographer, a web designer, and the director of marketing all racing against each other. Eric, you are the director of marketing, and you beat these guys last time. How's it going to be today?
Well, I don't know. We finished 1, 2, 3 at Mid-America earlier this year in the first SCCA Marketing Challenge, so I don't know. I hope to stay ahead of John Steflik, our webmaster in the Miata, and Einstein, Mark Webber, the best motorsports photographer out there, but we'll see how it goes today.
Now, besides bragging rights, if these guys, if you can beat these guys, you get to, do they do your job, or do you just straight out fire them right there?
I don't know if I can fire them because they beat me, but we'll see how it goes today.
All right.
Well, for Eric Prill, early in the going, he was in medal contention. There he is, but he's dropped off a little bit. Mike Johnson, I understand. Well, you can maybe see it, Mike. That left front tire's got a problem.
He was actually going for a pass early in the race when he was sitting in third. Took a big run at it, lost so much momentum, fell back, and now he's fighting a small vibration. But there's a lot of people I think at home that really want to see Eric do well, because he's helped so many young drivers in their careers as a publicist in the F2000 series and for World Challenge and for all the pro racing that SCCA does. So a lot of people really want to see him do well.
Absolutely, and if you zoom in, if we get a zoom in on that left front tire, Danny, right down the middle of it, it looks like there's just a big pile of junk right down the middle, and you can see that thing vibrating.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's pickup or if it's, you can see the big cup on the inside of that tire. It looks like it's just worn out the front tires.
Yeah, I said right front, it's actually the left front, and it's just something in there that has really messed it up. Maybe we can get it here. Well, it looks like it may have cleaned up just a little bit there.
Yeah, he had some pickup on it for sure, but you can see it shaking the fender. Something's not real happy there.
Well, and it's cost him a little bit. He's dropped off, and he's lost about 3 seconds to Flesher right now. And they're starting to work some traffic, and that might have been an opportunity for Flesher, but he's going to get stuck behind that traffic going into the bus stop, so Prather and Sargis get a little gift. But boy, Sargis got a great run on Prather coming out of the bus stop. Here's the run now. Prather, well, that Mazda a little bit of power and was able to put it to good use.
I'm sure Sargis is just praying to catch some more traffic here, and once he can pick a spot, I think he'll get by.
And like I said, Sargis is so smooth and he's such a great tactician that he is not going to run off his tires early. Now we've got 5 laps to go. It's getting down to that part of the race where you want to be ready, you want to have the car to go do battle with, and believe me, Sargis does. The question is, does Prather?
I think they both do. Neither one of them are saving anything right now. They're both going as fast as they can. There's not enough margin here to say, hey, you know, this guy's got it or that guy does.
No, Sargis got to run. Watch for it. He moves down to the inside. Now there's traffic in front of him. Prather's going to try and stick it around the end. Boy, did he get through that turn on the outside incredibly quick. And what I think, Danny, what happened there, just tightened up Sargis' exit so much that he couldn't carry the speed he wanted.
Right. If he'd have carried the speed in there, they'd have bumped into each other. And, you know, Prather just kept on the gas and got it over to 2, and then there's nothing you can do. Now the traffic is just wild.
Yeah, that's Tom Lytle, the guy driving that Capri, and he does a beautiful job of getting out of the way, but just that little bit of a pause for Prather and Sargis. Flesher is there, and Danny, you were looking at the monitor a moment ago, and he's been matching their times. He needed a moment, a gift. He may have just got it.
Yeah, he gained 2 seconds right there in the traffic, and that's all he needed this 3-car race now.
And more traffic to come if this guy folds across in the line, and obviously he's probably going to do that. Well, looks like that car has just enough oomph that it didn't hold anybody up as they're coming up on him right now to make the move. I believe that is the 3, perhaps. Yes, the Honda CRX of Gillespie. So he's able to make the move and go by. He got out of the way. Boy, a beautiful job to let that battle through. It's heating up in F production. We are back at Heartland Park, and we've got a great battle that is unfolding. You see Harold Flesher lighten up that inside tire a little bit, coming up on some lap traffic, and boy, another great job. The guy getting well out of the way, but Prather caught a little bit of other traffic and got through it very cleanly. It looks like Sargis got bottled up just for a second, and this is the biggest margin Jesse Prather has had so far this race.
Yeah, and what happens here is you lose a half a second with 4 laps to go, and it makes it really hard to get it back. And that's exactly what's happening here. Now it's 0.7 and another half a second back to the midget there.
All right, coming up into turn 1 and 2. Prather has been awfully good. Even though Sargis is able to get down underneath him, Prather just plants that Mazda around the outside and is able to make it stick. Flesher right there in that Austin Healey Sprite in 3rd, the final medal position. And he's just hooked up, but not any more hooked up than the guys in front. And again, if he doesn't get some help, he's going to be really struggling to get by him, Mike. He's caught him, but now it's a question of can Harold Flesher do anything with those leaders?
Well, I'm with his crew chief, Peter Genovese, and he is definitely reeling those guys in. And with 3 laps to go, is there going to be enough time to catch him?
I hope so. It would be great. But we're still on a podium finish right now, so we'll take that still.
Well, you guys have had wins before, though. Did you come here for a win, or did you come for a podium finish?
Always come here for a win.
All right. Well, that might mean we could have a good finish here at the end.
Absolutely, and Mark Webber was the driver they were catching there, the 3rd of that marketing challenge from SCCA, the photographer, and he too did a nice job of just getting out everybody's way and letting them come through. Turning into the bus stop here, Flesher, the Austin Healey just hooks it up. He's got those fins on those front wheels to try and keep those brakes cool. This track is tough on brakes.
Yes, it is, and what those do is they suck air through the wheel and try to cool it off. They have very small brakes, so that's what they need.
All right, here's what's going on here. Mason Workman now is back in 14th. He fell off just a little bit. A few guys were able to get by him, and then the 22 of Funk right behind him in that CRX. So Mason Workman having one of those eventful days. He's been as high as 8th at one point. Now he's back in a 14th, and it was just that scrum we've been watching. They've been shifting positions, and currently Workman kind of got caught out just a little bit and dropped back, and Funk ended up going back with him.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he didn't want to make today this hard, and it's been a tough day for him. He's lost 7 or 8 positions here. Funk is putting some heat on him, and they're sort of trading spots back and forth.
Well, and you can see that there's absolutely nobody in front of them right now, so whatever happened, these two were really bottled up and lost a lot of time as we were watching Stone and Hawk and Hayward and Manning and all those guys, and now they're well clear of this group. So Mason Workman, obviously, his day got a little bit tougher here, and the problem is, in his mirrors, it's still that white CRX who's being pretty relentless.
Yeah, he's all over him. It looks like the Miata is struggling in the power department. He pulls out a little bit there, but it just doesn't look like it was running like it did earlier in the race.
Good look there at the number 22 of Larry Funk out of Oberlin, Ohio. Again, had 3 podiums this year in that CRX. He's a commercial real estate broker, and this is what he does for fun, and does it very well, having a good season. Just can't find a way by Mason, though.
Yeah, they're just duking it out. You can see the Honda's a little bit quicker through the technical parts, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it looks like the Mazda gets down a little bit down the straightaway, and now they're back into the S's. We'll see what he has for them.
These guys having a solid run back there. And again, this is the battle right now for the 14th spot. Workman currently holds on to it. Yeah, boy, nobody around him right now. That's unusual in F-Production racing to see two guys battling this hard, that back in the back, and nobody around them. Oh, meanwhile, leaders in traffic, and Sargis is now caught right back up to the back of Prather. Boy, Fleischer is looking for the shot to get through. Did he get through cleanly? He needs it. Fleischer currently has the fastest lap of the race, but it came in that charge to catch these guys, and now they're all running very, very identical times, and there's Jesse's wife once again. Boy, you can see Jamie, that look. She's smiling, but there's concern there.
There is concern there. It looks like the Austin Healey is really good by itself, but he just can't keep up when they get into traffic, and he loses his momentum, and these guys just get away.
Now, Prather just went defensive there, and Sargis, as a result, is going to get out of this turn a little closer than he has been, and he's good into the carousel.
Yeah, he is good into the carousel. It's the last lap here, and he's going to have to make a move. He's going to have to take that spot away.
Boy, he almost got that nose inside once again. Not quite there. Now, let's see. It's time to get aggressive and make something happen. He's looking up the inside into 4. That's going to cost him on the exit, and Prather gets a couple of lengths there going into 5. Sargis swings wide, trying to get the exit built up here. But Prather has horsepower, and that's your friend here. That's Prather's crew, and boy, you can see them talking and looking at watches.
Yeah, it just looks like Sargis lost a little momentum there when he tried that inside move, and it really hurt him.
And there's Jamie, and she's listening. I don't know that Jesse's saying a whole lot right now. And he got out of 6 and through 7 incredibly well. So if Sargis is going to get it done, he's going to have to make up a lot of ground here in the bus stop. And nope, didn't really get through there much better than did Prather. So unless Prather now makes a big mistake somewhere down in what we call the autocross section, that very tight 11, 12, 13 complex, looks like he may have himself a national championship.
Yeah, it doesn't look like there's any traffic. He's not going to catch anybody. He's going to have a clean shot through the S's.
There's Sargis' crew wondering. Here's Jamie hoping.
They all have their fingers crossed, waiting for him to come through the last couple corners here, and it looks like Prather's going to have an open shot.
He does. No traffic, no problem. Onto the front straight he comes. Jesse Prather is going to do it. He's going to join his dad as an SCCA national champion. Hux throws the checkered flag. Prather does it. Jamie is going ballistic, understandably. Sargis gets another medal, this time a silver. And Harold Fleischer adds a bronze to his collection of medals. And Eric Prill, well, he stayed in at vibration and all. He will come home in 4th. And Eric's buddy, actually, Luis Riviera, is going to come home in 5th. And look at that celebration. Jamie is ecstatic. And as we said, it is going to be Kent Prather coming up later in the weekend in the G production, and he's the master there. Could it be a double Prather gold weekend? Well, Jesse started it off right. Back at Heartland Park, Topeka, the F production national championship runoff is complete. Prather the gold, Sargis the silver, Fleischer the bronze, Prill and Rivera make up our top 5. Let's get down to biz with our winner.
Jesse, congratulations on a great win. 1 win for you, 6 for your father. Great family tradition going on here. Constant pressure throughout the entire event.
That was, bar none, the hardest race I've ever had. To be able to stay ahead of someone like Steve Sargis is amazing. I've got to thank Mazda Speed Motorsports, Goodyear Tires, Redline Oil, my wife and mom for putting up with this, and number 1, my father.
Well, congratulations.
He taught me everything I know about road
Congratulations to you, man, for putting on the greatest show this weekend. I'll tell you, Jamie, I got to get Jamie in here. Jamie is the wife here of our Victor, and you were up on the wall. Now listen, when you started out the first few laps, it was just like this. But then, the closer to the flag, you were just back and forth and back and forth. What's up with that?
Oh, I just got a little bit nervous, and I couldn't wait to see him go past that checkered flag.
Now, when he came around second, what did you think?
I thought he's going to catch him.
He's going to catch him. Congratulations on a great, great victory.
Thank you.
It was that indeed, and he made the point about if you stay in front of Steve Sargis, if you get behind Steve, pass him, and then stay in front. That's pretty amazing. Here's your total field here. You see Luis Rivera, got to give him a shout, up from 9th to 5th. That's a great run. Mason Workman and Funk, we watched those guys. That was just an incredible battle that they had all race long. And I got to give a shout out to Bob Stream. Started 31st, got into the top 20, his first run-offs, a corner worker, making it happen. He's my hero, no doubt about it. John Cerrino, who knows if he wouldn't have had that motor go away, it would have been maybe a whole different deal. And look at that, packing the entire family in to go out for that very, very prestigious lap of honor here. Boy, we had a good one.
Yeah, there was cars everywhere, guys off the track, engine problems, but that battle at the front was pretty amazing.
Fabulous back and forth racing, and then when it came down to it, Jesse Prather got her done. Just a fabulous drive, and again, his dad coming up in a few races to see if they can make it a double gold weekend for the Prather family when the G production race comes up, so don't miss that. Want to say a big thanks to all of you for joining us for the Runoffs coverage here on Speed. For Danny and John and Mike down in pit lane, I'm Greg Kramer. Thanks for joining us. And Jesse Prather, you did a superb job, young one. Keep it up, and congratulations.